Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record, and I am grateful, you guessed it, to be back with you once again. And today we are going to talk about something that's popped up for me, my whole life. But recently I saw a post that I just really love that I'm gonna share here in a moment, and just talk a little bit about this concept of slowing down and how to know when you're in a state, to be aware when you're in a state of, let's say, misaligned excitement, not agitation, maybe based in fear, not really coming from a place of power and strength and vibrational balance that we want to be coming from whenever we're taking any action. And I can think so many times in my life where, especially going back years ago, I mean, it's something that I still can deal with, getting overly excited and then agitated or stressed about a deadline, or and I'm aware of it now. I'll catch it. It's like, hold on, this is like an arbitrary deadline, self-imposed agitation and requirement, that I'm putting on myself. That is, a sense of urgency that's just not serving. And I think we all can do this. We can come up with these stories about how we need to get it done by this, that, or the other, or else. Or perhaps it's something where there is a deadline of sorts to get something done. And then we build up these stories in our heads around, if we don't get it right, our idealized version of having the project completed, then all is lost and no one will, appreciate it, or it will fail, or whatever it may be. And the funny thing is when you can look back, and if you think about this, if you look back on this in your life, when you've done this, and then you get to the big reveal, whether it's the website or the school project or whatever, all the things you're stressing about, like, never, a lot of times don't even come into play. They don't tend to matter. No one really cares like you do, in a good way, right? And so this is something that I think we can all relate to, and it's a pain point for many of us. So I think it's really important to learn to catch ourselves when we're getting into this state of urgency that is not really coming from a positive, well-balanced state. And here's the quote that I came across. It says, "When there's a sense of urgency tied to anything important in your life, slow down. Ask yourself, what would happen if I let go a little bit and let this unfold on a timeline out of my control? What is the rush? Is there a fear or a wound driving me? Am I operating out of fear or out of trust? And I wish, I screenshotted this when I saw it, and I should have made note of where I saw it, and I didn't. So apologies. I would like to give credit where credit is due, but um, hopefully maybe I'll come across it and I can state it at a later time. But I just loved this so much. Is there a sense of urgency tied to anything important in your life where it feels like a wound is driving it? Am I operating out of fear of not being good enough, not being getting the A on the paper, not getting the job that I'm preparing for, whatever the story is around it? It's so common. What if we just relax and say, okay, if there's a lot of anxious energy uh, coming up around something, what would happen if I just kind of let go of control? And that's a big part of it, right? We're trying to control the outcome of things so much in our life, and it's kind of laughable because, really we only have so much control, and so I'm finding if I learn to just slow down some and let go of the reins a little bit and just let things. A lot of times I think we're being protected from something that we want to happen right away. Patience has never been my strongest virtue. Like I want it to happen yesterday. And meanwhile, if you got everything that you wanted, you might not be too happy with the results of that. And and so I think sometimes we're being protected from what we think is best from us. So if you can come into the state of like, hey, you know what? I don't need to always. I can have an idea of what I think is the best course of action and how it should unfold, but I'm going to always bring that element, that energy of, and I'm gonna trust that I may not know. I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to relax into, if it's not unfolding the way I think it should in my vision, maybe my vision just isn't quite in alignment with what's the greatest and grandest and best path for things to unfold. And so just moving into that state instead of, I mean, first of all, it's so much better for your nervous system. And I find when you let go, when you relax and let things unfold in divine timing in the way that, and by the way, we know oftentimes how often in life do things really unfold the way we imagine them? Rarely, right? The past isn't exactly like you remember it. The future never comes exactly like you imagine it. So why are we getting so caught up on this, um, control and operating out of fear and not trusting the mystery, trusting the process of our life? And, and a lot of times it is fear, of course, steering the ship, and a wound, right? Like a lot of us have this wound around, we've got something to prove. We're not good enough unless we get it right. And it's just not the case. You are so, so worthy just as you are, as you, exactly as you are, not getting the A plus, not finishing on time, not being the best in the class, whatever it is we're talking about here. This core wound, if we can heal that through understanding and appreciation of who we are, just our perfectly imperfect selves, and just love the process of our lives continuing to unfold and our growth that's continuing to unfold. Yes, you're going to be better than you were yesterday, tomorrow, and a year from now. Anyone who's on this path of self development, self growth, and striving to become their greatest and greatest self, like those of us, that would tune into this podcast are, like, that's it. That in itself, you're a success. Just just even if you weren't striving to better yourself, you're a success. Just being who you are at your core, core of your core of your core, you're one with the source consciousness that creates and animates all things. You are worthy. And even those people who are taking a time out in this life from consciously trying to grow and become more than they were yesterday, they're worthy too. And so, just trusting and moving into this perspective brings, yeah, that anxious energy to prove something is exhausting and draining. And the irony is, of course, when you move into this more relaxed state about things, you start seeing new pathways and possibilities, and things open up that just couldn't open up when you are in this control, fearful, wound-driven, state. So with all that being said, I found a clip that I would like to share, and it is by Abraham, Learning to Slow Down Thoughts and Change Vibrations. Very, very good clip. Take a listen.
Do you believe that law of attraction is a powerful law? Do you believe that it is the most important thing for you to focus upon? Do you believe that law of attraction is real? Do you believe that you are a vibrating being? Do you believe that law of attraction is responding to your vibration? Do you believe that you have control of your vibration? Do you believe that your vibration is indicated to you through the emotions that you feel? Do you believe that your vibration is about the thoughts you think? Do you believe that the thoughts you think are about your focus? Do you believe that there is a law of attraction momentum that is already going with your thoughts? Do you believe that right now you are more likely to think some things about some things than others? Do you believe that your beliefs are just thoughts that you keep thinking? Do you believe that every belief you have serves you? Do you believe that you have some beliefs that don't serve you? Do you believe that you can deactivate those beliefs? Do you believe that the way you deactivate those beliefs is by activating others? Do you believe that you can take a belief that is active and on a dime activate its exact opposite? So what has to happen in between? If a train is going 100 miles an hour that way, what is required in order for it to go 100 miles an hour that way? It slows down. So can you change a really active vibration to an opposite? You can't, can you? So do you have some beliefs that you would like to slow down? And is it through lack of attention to them? So what's a way that you give a lot of attention to beliefs that you would like to slow down? What are some of the things you do that you now don't want to do? Talk about it. When you talk about things that you don't want, that's the way that you keep the momentum up. So do you think it's possible to stop talking about things that you don't want to keep moving? Could you make a decision? I'm going to talk less about things I don't want. Does that seem like a difficult thing to do? So now, in the middle of finding yourself talking about something that you didn't mean to talk about, now what's the most powerful, productive thing for you to do in the middle of catching yourself talking about something that you meant not to talk about? You could change the story a little bit, or you could give yourself a break. You could laugh. You could say, are you kidding me? 5 minutes ago, I said I wasn't going to talk about this thing that I'm talking about right now. In other words, have fun with it. Do you think that conversation having that conversation slow it? This is a really important question. So if I'm talking about something that I said I wasn't going to talk about, but I catch myself talking about it, and then I laugh about it, and then I say, I'm getting better at this, have I slowed a little bit? You have, haven't you? So now somebody else begins a conversation about this thing that you said you weren't going to talk about. And so you realize that law of attraction has put you together, so it must still be active in your vibration. So now they're talking about it, you're not. So now what's the best thing for you to do? Don't respond. They don't like it. They don't like it. They're trying to suck you in. So now what's the best thing for you to do? Don't you think that's funny? Don't you think it's funny that you said you weren't going to talk about it, and the universe brought you 5 examples in the next 5 minutes? So you say, is the universe testing you? No, the universe is simply responding to you. So what's that information telling you? Is that bad information or good information? What's it telling you? I've still got this thing active in my vibration, this thing that I don't want to have active in my vibration. So now you're not talking about it, but what are you doing? You're thinking about it. Now, how you're thinking about it could speed it or slow it. Are you mad at yourself for thinking about it? If you are, does that speed it or slow it? It speeds it up, doesn't it? What if you're not mad at yourself, but happy that you caught it? Does that speed it or slow it? That slows it. So now you're observing more, and now you start noticing that that's not coming up as much in your experience. You're thinking about it now, but it's not been coming up as much. Is that a helpful thought or a not helpful thought? That's a helpful thought. Is it slowing it more or speeding it up? It's slowing it. You're directing your thoughts around it. In other words, you're directing the momentum of the vibration. So now that you have less active thoughts, because you can only think about one thing at a time, really. You think you're multitaskers, but you're really not. You're multitasking in the sense that you have this general vibration going on, and it's showing up in lots of different ways. So you were not thinking about it, not actively, but someone walked into your experience and they're talking about it. What does that mean to you? There's still some activity going on within me. Now, your response, your intention now is to slow the vibration of it, not to speed it. So what's the first thing that occurs to you now that we've had this conversation? You don't want to engage in a conversation about this. If you push against them, does that speed your vibration or slow it? It speeds it, doesn't it? If you give them the benefit of the doubt, does it speed your vibration or slow it? So as you think, well, they are just not as determined as I am about this, and clearly I've got some residual vibration, but in time this conversation won't come to me at all. Now you are oblivious to them, you're sort of ignoring them, and what do you think their experience is when you are not giving them feedback? You think they're going to keep coming back to you with that? Or have you deactivated enough that they won't come to you? So when it's not coming to you anymore, does that mean you've slowed the vibration of it? Now you've slowed the vibration of it. Now you have room in your attention process for something else. Now you can give your attention to more other things. We're really talking about airtime here. We're really talking about the amount of time that you have to focus. So is it logical to you that the less you think about unwanted things, the more time you will have to think about wanted things? Well, that's logical, but it isn't exactly the way it works. And this is why we wanted to take you through this process, because we want you to understand that how it works is this. This is so fun. It's so fun to help you realize this. You have, oftentimes without knowing it, put so much into your vortex that is active in terms of who you really are. Your inner being is active with the vibration of all of these things that you want. So when you slow the vibration of unwanted things, it's like you hold the cork under the water, but when you let go of the cork, it bobs back to the surface. Every effort you make to slow the vibration of unwanted things makes your cork bob closer and closer to the surface, so that the thoughts that you want to think will then be occurring to you. You then have access to those thoughts. Does that make sense to you? In other words, you've been thinking that deliberate creation was deliberately thinking a thought. What we're saying to you is, if you can stop doing that thing that you've been doing, if you can focus upon how you want to feel rather than on the thought that you're wanting to think, that's what we mean by getting out ahead of the vibration. You let the emotion lead you. So as you let the emotion lead you, as you let the desire for feeling happy lead you, as you find the vibrational place of that and your vibration raises, then you will be the realizer of more positive thoughts, or thoughts that feel better to you as they float from the vortex. Are you the creator of your own reality? Are you a vibrational being? Does law of attraction respond to your vibration? Do you have some measure of control over what that vibration is? If you find yourself in a point of negative attraction, is it any big deal? Can you cease that attraction anytime you want? Is it usually a gradual process? Will law of attraction show you the evidence of your progress? Would that be a fun thing to do? Would it be as fun as any project that you have? Moving from any place that is less wanted to a place that's more wanted? Aren't you a little bit eager about letting your vibrational countenance be a higher priority to you, and then have the benefit of watching the manifestations come? Aren't you eager to feel what will flow into your mind in the form of ideas now that your vibration is higher? Doesn't it make you sort of want to get off to yourself and chat it up a little less? Doesn't it make you sort of want to withdraw from the chaos of your own mind and find some soft and steady vibration of well-being? Don't you want to know what the source within you thinks? Don't you want to know what those masters who are aware of you and who are interested in you and who are helping you, don't you want to know what their impulses are? Don't you want your less helpful impulses to deactivate while more helpful impulses are activated? Don't you want to discover who you really are? Don't you want to really be the creator of your own reality? And isn't being the creator of your own reality, isn't it really being the manager of your own vibration? Do you believe in law of attraction? Do you believe that you are a vibrational being? Do you believe that you have the ability to offer your vibration deliberately? Do you believe that you have to think your way into vibration, or can you feel your way into vibration? Do you believe that the universe is responding to the vibration that is you? Do you believe that you are a worthy being? Do you believe that whether good things or bad things are coming to you in any moment, that you're still a good being? Do you believe that you can be good and undisciplined? Do you believe that you can be good and disciplined? Do you believe that it's possible to manage your thoughts with sheer willpower? No. Cut it out. It doesn't work. Do you believe that you will start the vibration at a softer place? Do you believe that every vibration will gain momentum? Do you believe that if you start out with a general vibration that feels good, it will gain momentum? Do you believe that a general vibration, as it gains momentum, will become more interesting? Do you believe that the details will fill in? So doesn't it make sense that you want to quiet your mind more often, that you want to do more things that soothe you, that you want to take a long hot shower or a long hot bath? Don't you want to take a good run on the beach? Don't you want to pet your dog or pet your cat? Don't you want to spend time doing things that take you into that soft, good feeling place? And is that the wrong approach to life? No. Is it the right approach to life? Yeah. And until you get your priorities squared away, until you really mean it that you want to feel good, until you really mean it that you care about how you feel, until you really mean it that you know that you are a vibrational being and that law of attraction is responding to your vibration, until you really mean it that you are broadcasting, until you catch yourself in the middle of a broadcast and continue it on purpose because it feels good, but slow it down on purpose because it doesn't feel good. Once you do that, you are a deliberate creator. And unless you do that, you are a creator by default.
Understanding all of this is so paramount. I mean, if a train is going to change direction, it's got to slow down first. It's important that we learn to slow down. That is, we're going to turn the ship around. We got to slow down. And when you're talking about things you don't want, you're keeping the momentum. You're throttling the gas, right, in the direction you don't want to go. And I love how she put it here. She's like, well, could I make the decision to stop talking about these things? Of course you could. That's a great step. And if you catch yourself doing it anyway, then to laugh at yourself and say, oh yeah, at least I'm getting better. At least I'm catching myself. And now I'm in that state. I definitely have those moments for sure. And get this ego out of the way of like, I got to be right and I can't. I'll tell you, it feels good to be able to change your perspective, because I think we can all relate at times in our evolution where it's like, once I say something or do something, I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna die on this hill. Like, even if I was wrong, I can't. My ego won't allow me to admit it. And once you move past that and you start realizing that it's okay to have missed it and kind of overreacted or spoke incorrectly, and you can acknowledge and laugh at it. It's like, people, especially people who were part of that process for you, maybe when you were out of alignment, it's like you can see and feel how much respect they have for you because your willingness to do that. That takes a real man or woman, to be able to do that, and to be able to, that's someone who's like, okay, that's impressive that you're willing to be able to self-acknowledge in an authentic way. And if you're still seeing what it is pop up, okay, maybe you're thinking about it. And what if you aren't mad about it popping up and that you're still thinking about it? It's slowing that momentum down, and it is so powerful to do this. And I'm sure you've made progress with this. Most of you have probably made progress with this on your journey to self-healing and self-growth already. And if you haven't, and you're just starting down, this is maybe the first time you even heard this podcast, and you're very newly on your journey of remembering who and what you are, and understanding where the work that you have lies. congratulations. Like this is a huge, huge step. And we all deserve um, to give ourselves, that grace and give ourselves a break. Go easy on yourself. That's, we're so hard on ourselves. And, go easy on yourself. Slow down on your self judgment as well. With that being said, I have a song that seems very appropriate. It's The Human Experience with Elijah Ray and Roan. And the song is Slow Down. Until next time, journey well. I love you so, so much. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Say a word, listen closely, and tell me what you heard.